know 7 Steps to Heaven already, you definitely need to. So let's take a closer look at this essential bass line today. Welcome to Learn Jazz Bass with Matt Rybicki. I'm Matt. I've been playing bass for 30 years with folks like Wynton Marsalis, Gerald Clayton, Nina Freelon, and more. I teach at the Juilliard School and also at the University of North Carolina School for the Arts. And I'm glad that you're here. We're talking about this absolutely must-know line from Ron Carter on the seminal album 7 Steps to Heaven, and the tune 7 Steps to Heaven on the album. The bass line itself is not super tricky. At fast tempos, it can be a little bit of a challenge, but the notes contained in it are not necessarily challenging. It's so distinctive, though, that we really need to know it as part of the sort of things bass players need to know. It is very helpful to use this ostinato figure that is played from the very beginning by Ron as a mnemonic sort of device to remember a descending fifth, the C to F. That's a perfect fifth going down. And then B flat to E flat is a perfect fifth going down. And the way he actually plays it, it's just that it's a little bit fast, but it's not hard to do. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So not really hard. Up to tempo, you need to sort of let your hand sort of sweep across both strings. So have your left hand prepared in this shape. Don't try to sort of take your fingers off so that you can execute it smoothly. So essentially you almost can leave your hand down entirely. C, F. He certainly gets a long sound from his bass. He gets very long notes, which is great. One thing that I didn't realize in this ostinato, you know, I'm always sharing new things that I discover about these tunes, that other people certainly picked up on, but I missed it, is that when he is preparing to leave the ostinato figure, he plays something in the E flat 13, E flat 7 bar twice. So like the last 4 bars would be and 4 to F, which is the downbeat of the melody, and F major is the sort of key center we're using. He also does something similar at the interlude going out. And as far as the interlude, that is an interesting part that isn't part of the solo form usually, but it can be. So we've got a little bit of a form thing going on there. But back to the beginning, we've got this ostinato figure. The bass generally starts it. It starts it on this recording. And when we are imitating it in our performance on stage, it's super fun to play this in the way that they played it. It's not terribly hard if you're familiar with it. So we've got this ostinato. It goes into the main melody. And the main melody is, everyone plays these hits, as we say. They're rhythmic statements. And they're F, B flat is the 4, and then E, A is like a 2-5 going to D, and then a chromatic approach note to G, D, A flat, G, and then we come to the drum fill. And this definitely threw me off when I was first learning this tune and first learning to play. It's 3 bars of a drum fill, which is not sort of, you know, what we normally hear if we're not familiar with it. And so you have to really count in there, really pay attention, and really don't lose focus. I certainly did. I have stumbled on my over my feet many times in this particular section when I was first starting to play this tune. Now I don't really even think about it, I just feel it. But it's important that if you feel unsure about those bars, that you're really counting to yourself. You can tap the back of your bass on 2 and 4 or whatever, just something that you feel very grounded about when it's time to come back in after those 3 bars of drum fill. And then there's this these 3 chords, which is a sort of a walk up. Both the bass line and the chords walk up back to F major, E flat, E, F. And then that repeats, F, E, A, D, and then we're to the bridge. The bridge starts walking, and the chords aren't super complicated, but it looks a little tricky, so it's helpful to sort of, again, as always, break down what is the big sort of movements, or what can we take a more of a higher view of the harmony in the moment. The first 3 bars are essentially just C major, C, and then a 2-5 back to C. Now we've got a 2-5 going to E flat. So that's the new key center. So F, B flat 7 to E flat. Now a 2-5 to G flat. So if you're just reading the chords as they go by, you miss that, hey, this is really just getting from C to E flat to G flat, and then back to F essentially, because there's another 2-5. So 2-5 to G flat, and then you can play G to C there, G minor 7 to C7, and then back to the last A section, excuse me, F, E, D, A flat, G. Now comes the interlude, and this bass part that we played at the beginning, we play again. It is really important for us as bass players, if you are playing it in a style that is imitating what the recording was, or if you haven't discussed it at all, more than likely everyone is counting on hearing this bass part again. So it's really important that we come in very strong, because generally there's some empty space there, and they're expecting us to play that pickup note on the and of 4. And what he does there is, again, play two things in the E flat 7, and then really drop the F to F. Excuse me, really aggressively, or at least with intention, playing that low F and letting it ring to build suspension in the solo break to the first solo, where then he walks. And just having that moment of suspension, it really, kind of builds intensity that is released when the walking happens. And the walking line itself is very great. I haven't transcribed the entire song. I transcribed a good portion of it. And I really recommend that you check it out, because it's a really clever, logical way of getting around these chords, which again are not complicated, but Ron puts his special thing on it. So take some time and really figure out those little details in this tune if you haven't already, because it's fun to play. There's a good chance that you may be asked to play it at some time, and it also helps our musicianship in general. Thanks for joining me today. Look for those links below. Also look for a link if you're in summer of 2025 for a Juilliard class I'll be teaching online in September. All are welcome. It's essentially a history and appreciation course. And then I've got my new bass course coming out in September as well. That's going to be the basics of walking bass, like very beginning stuff. And I'm really excited to share it with you. So be on the lookout for that as well. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that it was helpful. And always remember, straight ahead and strive for tone.